Same cart, same store, same items you buy every week. But this year it costs $60. And 2 years ago, it cost $50. Nothing in the cart got better. So what happened to the $10? Last time, we watched banks create money the moment they make a loan, which left one loose thread. If new money keeps appearing, what stops it from simply making everything cost more? Today, the machine behind rising prices, what inflation actually is, and where it really comes from. Start with the word itself. Inflation isn't one thing getting pricier, a bad harvest lifting the price of coffee, a shortage lifting the price of a car. The Cleveland Fed defines it as the sustained rise in the general level of prices across the whole economy over time. The key words are general and sustained. It's not one price jumping once. It's the average of nearly all prices drifting upward and staying there. And here's the flip side of that same coin. If the general level of prices is rising, then each dollar in your pocket buys a little less than it used to. Inflation isn't only prices going up, it's the value of your money going down. Those are two ways of describing the exact same event. So the real question isn't why did this one thing get expensive? It's why does the whole price level drift upward year after year? And there isn't a single villain. There are a few forces, and they often push together. Start with the one that ties back to last episode, money. There's an old line that captures it. Too much money chasing too few goods. If the amount of money in the economy grows faster than the amount of stuff that money can buy, then each dollar is competing for a slice of the same pile of goods, and prices get bid up. More dollars, same shelves. Every dollar is worth a little less. But money is only part of the picture. Economists usually point to two engines that push prices up. The first is demand pull. When the total demand for goods and services runs ahead of what the economy can actually produce, sellers do what sellers do. They raise prices. Picture a concert where thousands of people want a few hundred seats. The tickets don't get cheaper, too many buyers, not enough to go around, and the price climbs. The second engine is cost push. This one comes from the supply side. When it costs more to make things, pricier energy, pricier materials, higher wages, those costs get pushed forward into the price on the shelf. A jump in the price of oil, for instance, ripples outward. It costs more to ship goods, so it costs more to stock a store, so the sticker goes up on almost everything. And then there's the strangest force of all, because it runs on belief. Inflation feeds on expectations. If people expect prices to keep rising, they act on it. They buy sooner, and they ask for higher wages to keep up. Employers raise prices to cover those wages, which pushes prices up, which makes everyone expect even more. It becomes a loop that keeps itself going, a wage price spiral, turning purely on what people think comes next. We just watched all of this happen for real. When the pandemic hit, the money supply, the total dollars in the economy, grew about 19% in 2020 and about 16% in 2021, several times its normal pace. At the very same moment, factories closed, ships sat waiting, and goods got scarce. Too much money meet too few goods, both engines at once. By June of 2022, U.S. prices were up 9.1% over the year before, the largest jump in 4 decades. But here's the honest part, and it matters. More money does not mechanically mean more inflation, dollar for dollar. It depends on how much the economy is producing and on how fast that money actually moves from hand to hand. The pandemic was so severe precisely because fast money met deep shortages at the same time. Money is one gauge on the dashboard, an important one, not the whole engine. So who watches that dashboard? And this is where last episode's throttle comes back. The Federal Reserve aims for a small, steady rate of inflation, a target of 2% a year. When prices run too hot, it raises its interest rate, which makes borrowing more expensive, which cools demand and slows the creation of new money we saw last time. Pull the price of credit up, and you pull inflation down. That's the lever. So step back and look at the whole machine. Inflation is the general price level rising, and at the same time, your money quietly losing value. It's driven by demand outrunning supply, by rising costs, by expectations feeding on themselves, and stitched underneath it all by how much money exists against how much there is to buy. It isn't one thing getting pricier, it's the measuring stick itself getting shorter, which raises the next question. We keep arriving at one place, that single interest rate the central bank sets, the lever behind money creation and behind inflation. Who sets it, and how does one number reach all the way into your rent, your job, and your savings? That's next time on Monetary Mechanics. One note, this channel is here to explain how the system works. It's education, not financial advice. If it made the machine a little clearer, subscribe, and we'll keep taking money apart one piece at a time.